Next Monday, 28th of June, sees us start the third of our nutrition kickstarts for this year, and it's the No Snack Kickstart. What we're looking to do in this one is to eat either 2 or 3 meals per day and only eat during those times. We're having very specific windows in which you can eat. In between those times, you're effectively fasting. The principle behind this is that we're giving our body a chance to deplete itself of glycogen. That's basically your carbohydrate storage, and also the blood glucose is, again, what you have when you consume sugar, carbohydrates, all of those energy sources. By doing so, it enables our body more opportunity to access and utilize our fat stores, which should help us to lose body fat and improve our body composition. It's also just a good way to train your mental side of food, because a lot of people, we are reliant on eating constantly throughout the day. And many studies have shown that people that experience symptoms, most people, I should say, that experience symptoms that they attribute to low blood sugar, that aren't diabetic, I need to clarify that aren't diabetic. Those symptoms are psychological effects, psychological need for food, rather than a physiological need for food. In other words, their blood sugar hasn't got any lower than someone else who isn't of that same mindset, but they experience those feelings a bit like you would do if you were addicted to something and you were craving that addiction. I've done multiple different variations of fasting in the past, and definitely it helps with discipline, and knowing that you can only eat at certain times actually makes it a little bit easier, because you have those moments in the day where you think, well, maybe I can eat something now. Should I, shouldn't I? And it just gives you a hard no. And that's much easier, I feel, to manage. For some of you, this will be quite straightforward. Some of you do this on a regular basis. For others, it'll be incredibly challenging. If it's more straightforward, we're going to have some extra, I'm going to be personally doing some extra experimentation during this time. I don't necessarily want you to take part in it or need you to take part in that, but if you want to have a little play on some of the different fasting experiments I'll be doing during this No Snack Kickstart, then please stay tuned to the stuff that I put forward to do and get involved. There is a second part to this Kickstart that actually is the part that I found the most challenging, and that is that we are having our meals away from a desk and at a table. That can be your dining table at home, or just an area that isn't your workspace, that isn't your sofa, but is somewhere separate where you're going to eat your meals, and have that as your opportunity to clear your mind. And when you're doing that, you're not allowed in this Kickstart to access your electronic devices. So we're not going to be eating, looking at our phone or looking at our tablet or watching TV or doing work. So you're not be doing it at your desk. You can actually take a period of time where you're just going to get away from that, and you're going to sit and eat your food. And if you're with your family, friends, you can have some time for social interaction. And if you're on your own, I will allow a book as your distraction, but it needs to be something that is enabling you to relax and to step away from that feeling where we're separating that. We're going to use this for some improvement on our mental health as well. I know that for many of us that did this in previous incarnations, this was actually as challenging as giving yourself those eating windows. One thing to be aware of is, depending on what your goal is, whether it's to lose body fat, maintain body fat, if you're looking to increase your body weight, you're looking to gain weight, then I have a variation that I will be posting on this post and via email, and also I'll put a web page up for us as well, that you can do to work on that weight gaining side of things. And that will be actually eating more frequently rather than less frequently. I won't go into that now because it'd be a bit of a distraction and confusing for some people. But just so you know that if you are looking to gain weight, then please check that out. But for the rest of us that may be looking to lose body fat, it will be on those 2 to 3 meal times per day. But it's really important when you're cutting out snacks or just cutting out that sort of removing those eating periods where you're just eating 24 hours a day, that you look at your macros and you are still working towards similar calorie targets. It's going to be incredibly hard if by cutting out the snacks, you drop your calories by 800 or some crazy amount during that time. For those of you that took part in our macro tracking challenge, go back just for maybe the first few days or the first week, just to ensure that in these windows, you are covering the same amount of calories throughout. Don't get yourself into a position where you're massively fasting throughout these periods. That's going to be super important, and it's going to make it much more beneficial if you start to fast and reduce your calorie intake to an unrealistic amount. It will not be an enjoyable experience, and it probably won't give you many health benefits either. So make sure that we are eating the right amount of calories during that period of time. I will be doing some additional stuff in this Kickstart, but if you're just taking part in the main Kickstart itself, which is what I want you to do, then stick to the macros that you should be doing throughout. So use MyFitnessPal as a good way to look at that, or use our InBody. It gives you some good idea of what you should be eating on a calorie basis. And I've talked in previous Kickstarts, look back at our blogs to see that in terms of the macronutrient balance, that's the proteins, carbohydrates, and the fats you should be eating during this time. As with all of our Kickstarts this year, they are 28 days long. We have tried longer durations in the past, but what I discovered is that there's a drop-off in people being able to stick to it towards the later end. By keeping these Kickstarts a bit shorter, that laser focus remains for more people, and that's important. Remember, these are Kickstarts. These aren't, just end at the end. What you're looking to do is from these 28-day Kickstart is to learn some habits and to make some changes into the way you eat. What we're looking to do with this one is to stop that reliance on having to eat every 1-2 hours, which a lot of us can get into habits of and feel like we need to do so. And the reason that that's become much more commonplace, that kind of grazing mentality, is commonly believed. Obviously, I don't have substantial evidence this, but definitely relates to a lot of marketing from the food companies. There's a great market for snack foods out there, and if we're telling people that you need to be eating constantly a day, much as the same as the marketing there is on hydration, we constantly need to be drinking throughout the day fluids. So therefore, people are buying loads and loads of different hydration drinks. Then we are encouraged to sort of get into these habits that maybe aren't of our best health benefits. I enjoy this challenge as I enjoy all of our nutrition Kickstarts, I should say. I feel there's a lot to benefit and a lot to learn from each one of these, and that's kind of what we do them for, is for you to learn, like I say, make changes. Not necessarily all of these need to be permanently ingrained, but definitely if we can make some changes and you can learn something from this, it's going to be hugely beneficial, much as I have done. And I do this as a Kickstart for myself as well. And every challenge, every Kickstart that we do throughout the year, I get back into better habits throughout, and I slightly drop off in between each one of those. But if we keep going with that, we're not going to go miles off track, hopefully, throughout. It's a good time to do it because it's the month of June. We'll be ending this, just take the date on the calendar there, 26th of July. For a lot of you, that will be around the dates of the school holidays. And if you're looking to go away to somewhere in the UK, I'd imagine, you may be able to get in that beach body that you're looking for, just to lean down a little bit for those bikinis, mankinis, speedos, whatever, floats your boat. All right, I think that's enough of me yattering on for the day. Any questions, please drop them in the comments, drop me an email, speak to me at the box, whatever suits you best. And I look forward to seeing you at the box a week. And don't forget, this Saturday is our anniversary. So please come to the workout, come to the barbecue, or come to the Mad Squirrel in the evenings. Let me know if you're coming as well. Look forward to seeing you guys soon.